I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt.
The fight with Arman is it's gonna be a good fight. Like, you crazy? He's gonna start panic. He's gonna be panicked, and I'm gonna break his jaw. Bam! In front of all his crowd, all his people, all his family. Who gives a fuck? Bah!
There has been a noticeable shift in Ilia Topuria's confidence, guys. like really noticeable to the point where like it's kind of obvious now. Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan, they've been beefing for however long. We know they've been beefing for a while, guys, and I always felt like it was a beef that seemed to have a lot more animosity on Ilia Topuria's side of it. Like I remember Ilia Topuria pretend like he smacked Arman. Oh, I smacked Arman behind the neck and he didn't do anything. And then you watch the video, it's literally him just giving him a love tap. I never really understood where the anger comes from. I also remember a time he was like, I can't stand Arman because he acts like he's too rich and he thinks he's all that. And it just seems like, why does that even concern you to the amount of that you're like so angry about it? Like I just don't understand why Ilia Topuria seems so angry when it comes to Arman. And not only that, but I remember there was a time, and we're gonna play the video during this video, that Ilia was almost like, if you guys make me fight Arman, I'm just going to vacate my belt. I will not fight this guy. Like, I just don't like him. He just doesn't seem trustworthy. He doesn't deserve it. Like, I'm the champion, and if you try to make me fight him, I'm leaving the division. Like, and this is just a weird thing for Ilia. And I always saw it as, like, Ilia saw Arman Tsarukyan as somebody who is seemingly the hardest fight for him, and he knows it. So he doesn't really want to entertain it. And to not entertain it, he's just throwing shade and constantly saying, I hate him, dismissing him when he's brought up in conversations and saying things along the lines of, oh, I'm going to vacate the belt if you make me fight him. It just seems like he understands Arman's a threat. And when you're so good, guys, and you know someone's a threat, you kind of just brush them off like, oh, well, they might be, they even suck. Who even is that guy? There's even a time he was going on a whole tangent like, oh, he's a nobody. Who's Arman? Keep in mind, Arman like is on every fucking streamer's platform, just creating huge numbers. Like, obviously, Arman's not unknown. Obviously, Arman's not a bad fighter like Ilia makes him out to be, you know. And that's what it was at first, guys. There's been a shift, though, since those moments where he was kind of dismissing Arman and saying, oh, Arman... Well, he still kind of dismisses Arman. Like, don't get it. He still like says, oh, Arman's nothing, I'm going to destroy him. But not to the point where like, oh, Arman's nothing, so I don't need to fight him. Because fighting Arman's nothing. Like, I don't need it. Who is he? He's a nobody. Fighting him, he doesn't deserve it. If they make me fight, I'm going to vacate. He's not really saying that now. Now he seems very confident about the fight. And one thing about Ilia, guys, and I'm going to show you what I mean when I'm going through some of these interview clips, is like, when Ilia is confident, for some reason, the confidence is like very intimidating. Because like I feel like Ilia seems to be the most confident when he fully believes that he can destroy a fighter. Now, similar from like the whole Paddy situation, guys, he didn't like Paddy too. Just like he didn't like Arman. But like the disliking for them two were very different. Like when it came to Paddy, he was like, oh, I hate this guy. You know, you fucking whatever, boy. You fucking sausage guy, you know. But then he was like, I would love to fight this guy. I would love to punch a hole in his face because I don't like him. And then with the Arman dislike, it was like, I hate Arman so much, I don't even want to fight him. So it's like two different hatreds. Like, oh, I hate Paddy so much, I just can't wait to punch his face and I'm going to destroy the guy. And with Arman, it was like, I hate Arman so much, I can't wait to never fight him, bro. If you make me fight, I'm going to vacate it. You know, and I know people are going to like make their excuses if you're like a huge Ilia fan. I'm a huge Ilia fan, but I'm just a very honest one, which is unfortunate for other Ilia fans who are like, oh, why is Kenny so honest? Like, I see it as like he understood what the Paddy fight would be. He knew if he went in there with Paddy, Paddy's nearly going to die in there. And he understood that. And I know Ilia fans are hearing what I'm saying and they know I'm right. Like, they know that's what that fight would have been. Whereas with Arman, it wasn't as roses and bubbles as I'm going to go in there, I'm going to nearly kill Arman. You know, and I know Ilia fans know what I'm saying right now is true as well. So I think with the whole Paddy, the situation is like, yeah, he disliked Paddy and he disliked Arman. And on paper, some people might say, oh, I think he hated Paddy more, or I think he hated Arman more. But at the end of the day, he hated both of them, quote unquote. But there was one person he was more willing to get in there with, and it was Paddy Pimblett, which is why he's rooting for Paddy to beat Justin Gaethje and vice versa. You know, but neither here or there. I'm going to get into what I'm talking about, and I'm going to play the clip of where Ilia kind of says that He doesn't want to fight Arman. And there's so much other clips of this, like, guys, I could go through where, like, Ilia's kind of like, oh, man, Arman's nobody, or fighting Arman doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't want to entertain that fight. I've already made videos on that, but I haven't actually showed this clip. So let me just play this clip and shut my mouth a little bit. All right.
Listen, when you put so much effort in the game and you have a guy in front who you don't know that maybe he could pull out from the fight, that's not something good for us. It's not my back, bro. I don't fucking care. They're gonna give him a fight before the title shot because there is no way. If I'm the world champion, I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't do it.
Okay, so obviously I understand when people are going to be like, oh, this is justified. Ilia's saying this because Arman, last time, he showed he's not reliable. He hurt his back. And if you hurt your back, it shows that you're not ready for the championship fight. I get it. No, and that actually that's not too bad. You know, the whole I'm never going to give him a chance. As long as I'm champion, I'm never going to give him a chance. And if you try to make me fight him anytime in the future, I don't care what he does. I don't care if he wins 1,000 fights in a row. I don't care if he deserves it. I will never give him a fight. That's where I start to draw the line. Saying you're never going to give the guy a chance as long as you have the belt in your hands. That's where I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. Like, I get you like, oh, he messed up his opportunity with Islam, so you never, like, there's no such thing as a second chance. Once you mess up, you're done for, dude. Like, I don't want to hear it. That's where I'm like, okay, like, I get you didn't want to give him a shot because you think he's not reliable, but saying as long as you hold the belt, you're never going to give him a chance, that lets me believe one or two things. One, you understand it's a hard fight, or two, you legitimately believe there's just no such thing as second chances. And some people believe there's like no such thing as second chances, so I can't even say that's not true. Maybe he just believes that if you make that mistake once, you never get another shot. Cool, that could be the case. But I think the more realistic case, and the case that most people are going to start to understand as the truth, is he just doesn't really like Arman to the extent that he doesn't want to give him the title shot, not because it's pure hatred, but because he understands he, one, doesn't like him, two, would probably hate, like really hate losing to him, and three, like he could probably lose that fight, and he probably will lose that fight. I believe Ilia Topuria here wasn't as confident in himself of beating Arman Tsarukyan. I believe that Ilia understood that Arman was a really hard fight, so he was saying, if you ever make me fight the guy, I'm just going to vacate my belt. It's almost like a cushion. Like, okay, let me keep beating up these 155ers. I'll rematch Max a couple times. I'll fight Charles, you know. I'll fight Justin Gaethje, you know. I'll fight these guys. I'll fight Paddy Pimblett. But the second you try to make me fight someone who stylistically will give me the most problems in the division, I'm going to go ahead and head out. That's how I view it. Now, a lot has happened since this thing. This was like last year. What was it? July 24th of last year. All right. So this is last year. Things have happened since then. You know, people have won, people have lost. Arman has proven himself, you know, things like that. It's let me know that there's been a shift. Now, at first, the shift was kind of coming for like the management team. We'll see stuff from like Ilia Topuria's management saying that like Ilia really wants to fight. Now, this is obviously a very different visual than what we just saw. And this is recent. This is of like the month of May, you know, early in the month. Now Ilia really wants to fight him. So it goes from Ilia saying he will never give him a shot as long as he's holding the belt to now Ilia saying he really wants the Arman fight. This is what his management says. He really wants to fight Arman. If there's one title defense, he'll want it to be against Arman. At this point, it would be undeniable. I think if Ilia wins, Arman Tsarukyan will be next in the title defense, and then we'll see what happens after that, because there's also the ambition of fighting Islam. So this is pretty much his management saying, listen, we want the Arman fight. There's nothing Ilia wants more than this Arman fight. Ilia's been creaming. All right, niggas said creaming, grown man, by the way. Ilia's been fiending, is a better word, eh? Oh, chincha. Ilia has been fiending for this fight. That's what the management makes it seem. Now, it seems very contradictory that in one note, last year he was saying one thing, and now suddenly he's saying another thing. And at first, you can't really take this from face value because it's not really coming from Ilia directly. It's coming from his management. But I'm going to play a clip of Ilia and his newfound confidence. But it let me know something, because it's been a year. And in a year, of course, a fighter develops, a fighter improves. I believe that last year, when all this talk about Ilia at 155 was happening and stuff, like Ilia legitimately believed, and you could take what you want and you could agree or disagree. I don't think Ilia believed he could beat Arman Tsarukyan. Since then, Arman has had a lot of wrestling matches. You know, Arman has nearly killed Dan Hooker. You know, he's had all these situations, and he's looked he looks better. He looks improved. Like he really beat the dog shit out of Dan Hooker badly. You know, and he's winning those wrestling matches. So he's like Arman is improving as well. But I swear Ilia is improving behind closed doors. Also, Ilia went through a big breakup with his wife, and I'm gonna actually talk about that a little bit later when I'm talking about how he looks in this new interview. But I actually do think that had a big effect on maybe Ilia's mental, maybe Ilia's psyche, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but this is what Ilia's management said. Now I actually want to go to what Ilia Topuria himself said, because if people are like, okay, this doesn't prove that Ilia's confident, this is just his management saying this. Okay, I beg to differ, brother, because look at this. In this interview, Ilia Topuria is pretty much saying how much he'll love to fight Arman and how much he'll embarrass him. I'm just going to play the clip. I'm going to let it run, and I'm going to say my commentary after the fact.
The fight with Arman is it's gonna be a good fight. Like, his last fight was against Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
He has, I don't know, 20 losses in his professional career.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you never ever, like, forget about it. Never ever in your entire life you faced someone like you, someone like me. It's like, I'm gonna embarrass you in front of everyone, because with him, he thinks that he's tough. He thinks that like he's wrestling is, I don't know what, like he feels that he's an Olympic champion. Anyways, if he's the best in the world in wrestling, when it comes to the octagon, bro, I'm the king. In there, I'm the king. I do with you whatever I wanna fucking do. And I told him, like, I'm gonna break his job in the first round. He's gonna try to take me down since the beginning of the fight. And when he's gonna realize that, bro, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to take these legs and take me down, especially to control me on the ground. You crazy? And then,
You crazy, when Ilia talk, like I could genuinely tell when Ilia is dead confident. Like sometimes when Ilia talks, like, are you crazy? Like, you crazy, dog? Yo, don't play with me, boy. You crazy, son? You smoke crack, don't you? All right, see, like I'm doing too much, but like you could really tell Ilia's confident when talking about this fight, and it's such a 360 from last year.
first round. He's gonna try to take me down since the beginning of the fight. And when he's gonna realize that, bro, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to take these legs and take me down, especially to control me on the ground. You crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's gonna start panic. He's gonna be panicked, and I'm gonna break his jaw. Bam. In front of all his crowd, all his people, all his family, who gives a fuck. Bam.
Chincha, brother, chincha. Shiva. Guys, like, listen, it's interviews like that that make me realize, like, I'm not hallucinating this, guys. Ilia Topuria last year didn't have this energy. It wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to fight Arman because I'm going to break his jaw in front of his people. Bam. The way he says it, bam. And that little cheeky smile, I'm like, that's trust me. Like, are you crazy, Arman? Yo, when he talks like that, it's really hard to doubt him. Like, listen, I thought Arman, like last year, I was very confident in Arman winning. Like, when I say very confident, I'm going to use that word like, a little bit, not full confidence, but I was pretty like, you know what? I know Arman's going to win, because Ilia Topuria doesn't seem like he believes that he could beat Arman Tsarukyan. And mentality goes into a lot, actually, how I pick my picks. Like, I look at it from a stylistic point of view, and then, like, if it's a little bit conflicting for me to pick off of only styles, I look at, all right, who wants it more? Like, who seems like they want it? Like, I remember, like, way back when I actually said John Jones would beat Tom Aspinall when that whole beef was starting, and then John Jones kept ducking. I was like, you know what? Aspinall's going to beat the dog shit out of this guy, because there's something about mentality that strikes me where, like, some fighters, I feel like if they have that doubt and they don't really believe that they could win, they go in there and they lose. Like, that's kind of how it happens. Like, especially when fights are close stylistically. Joshua Van Tatsuru Tyra, I knew Tyra was confident, but the way Van was talking, I was like, this is a close fight. And I know stylistically he's going to be a little bit more of an advantage for Van, but Van's confidence as well, I'm going to ride with Van. I do that. And I think it's actually intelligent to do that, guys, because confidence is a huge thing about a fighter, bro. And with Ilia Topuria, I really do believe that if he had to fight Arman last year, like, say that Charles, the guy who lost to Arman Tsarukyan, never got the title fight, and it was Arman instead, Arman would have beat Ilia Topuria that night. And Topuria looked great that night, but that Arman Tsarukyan would have beat him that night, promise you. Now, since then, like I said, a lot's happened. Ilia Topuria's divorce happened, I don't know if it was like when he was with that woman, he still was confident, but I don't know if it's like, did he believe that he would lose in front of his woman and like he wouldn't like to see? I don't know. But it seems like mentally he's in a better mind space after leaving her. As in like I feel like he's more like, you know what? Screw it. I could do whatever I want. I could be the best in the world. I don't know. I think it was freeing in a way because personality wise, still seems the same, but he's very confident in this fight. A confidence I haven't really seen before. Like if you notice, like last year when he was talking about Arman, it was like kind of like to like diminish him, but not to actually seem like he wants to fight him. It was more like, oh, well, listen, he's a nobody. Why are you even talking about him? I'm the best. I'm the champion. I don't need to fight this guy. He's a nobody. If you make me fight him, I'll leave the belt. I'll leave the division. That's what it was last year. Now it's like, please, I want to fight him. His management is saying he needs that fight. Like that's the only fight that Ilia Topuria is looking forward to, even before the Islam fight. Because even what his management said, they said that like the Arman fight is 100% next, and after that, we'll see what happens with the Islam Makhachev fight. So I actually like, and I know people might be mixed about that. I like that he wants to stay in the division and like fight another contender after this fight with Justin Gaethje. That makes me happy because I feel like that's what you want to see with the champion, you know. And I think this points to he might fight at the end of the year again, you know, which is good to see an active Ilia. That's one. Two, it's like someone you used to say that as long as you hold the belt, you're not going to fight. Now you seem willing to fight him. Ilia Topuria's improved through training, and I think his training actually got harder and he started taking training more seriously, and I feel like he thinks he has more to improve in life after separating with his wife. So I actually think his wife is a good reason to why we're seeing a more confident Ilia, and Ilia Topuria that I feel like is more willing to go out there on his shield and actually beat Arman Tsarukyan. You know, and I know Arman's been wanting the fight. Arman's confidence is not really in doubt here. Arman's been wanting the fight, but I bet for Arman, like as a fighter, it probably feels a bit different seeing somebody like Ilia who kind of made a full 360 of kind of like ducking him and like, oh shit, now he wants to fight. I bet that's like an eye-opening experience for Arman Tsarukyan too as a fighter, because now he has to look at himself like, yo, he wants to fight. He must be ready. And I think Arman taking these wrestling matches are actually a good thing for him. You know, I see him training striking every time he's not doing it, but he is training a lot of wrestling. That's his path to victory against Ilia Topuria. So I think this is going to be a great fight stylistically. But I will say that my opinion on the fight is starting to shift. Because I know it's one of those fights where it's close. It's a stylistic fight. It's kind of similar to a Van Tatsuru Taira fight, you know, but except I do think when Arman gets Topuria down, he's going to try to punch a hole in his face with his Habib-like ground and pound. That's going to be different, of course, but I do think it's a battle of styles. You know, I do think we've seen Ilia on his back, you know, and against Bryce Mitchell. You can't stay there. Shut up. I'm just speaking from experience. I seen him on his back, you know. I seen him take ground and pound from Bryce Mitchell on his back as well as not get up. But then again, we've seen him reverse Charles. That was a little bit overrated of a reverse. It was kind of just Charles pulling guard. Neither here or there. We've seen him look decent against moving in transitions on his top. I do think Ilia Topuria's top ground game is actually pretty damn good. Like I think his top ground game is better than his bottom game. You know, there's a lot of people you think they're just because they're good offensive wrestlers and they're good as the hammer, they're not the greatest as the nail. I think the Hamza Strickland fight even showed people like Hamza's looked as like one of the best grapplers or wrestlers in UFC history. When Hamza was taken down by Strickland, or not taken down, he pulled guard against Strickland. On his back, I don't want to say he looked lost, but he looked a bit like he's not used to being there. I don't think Ilia's used to being on his back. You know, the times we saw him on his back, that's probably why he like kind of tied his legs behind Bryce Mitchell's back and kind of accepted the position, because that's kind of what fighters do sometimes when they're just not used to it. So I don't think Ilia, like I haven't seen much of Ilia on his back. The only time I have was kind of Bryce Mitchell at 145, who took him down and not only put him on his back, but was able to land ground and pound. And of course, Bryce Mitchell's ground and pound is a bit different, you know, careful, than Arman Tsarukyan's ground and pound. So it is one of those fights that stylistically, I still might think that Arman Tsarukyan give him a lot of problems, because I think Arman Tsarukyan on the feet is a very good striker in his kicking game specifically. And as somebody who trained boxing now I can say this, brother. I go gym every day almost, brother. Strong, handsome guy. As someone who trains it, bro, when you're so used to boxing, kicks just feel weird. Like kicks start to feel different, you know. And that's the best way to disrupt the rhythm, whether it's low kicks, so it's someone who's heavy on that leg, or even an axe kick or a head kick, like or mixing up low kicks to head kick, low kick to head kick, and then you're gonna start getting caught with those head kicks and then body kicks and then push kicks. kicks just disrupt the rhythms of boxers. So the fact that Arman Tsarukyan is kind of a kick-first striker, and then you mix that into with his grappling, that's where the problems for Ilia start to commence. But now that Ilia has a newfound confidence and Ilia like genuinely believes, the way Ilia was talking about the wrestling, this guy thinks he's gonna take me down. Is he crazy? Yo, when he said, "Is he crazy?" I like that woke me up. I was like, yo, he's talking like, yo, what's up with you, dog? Brother, you think you're gonna smash me? Like, that's the kind of Ilia I like. And when Ilia talks like this, via what he's done, the way he was talking to Volk, trust me, I'm gonna sleep you. I'm the best. Like, trust me, I don't care. And the way he's talking to Max, I don't care about his chin, brother. When I touch him, I'm different. When he says things like that, I listen to him and I'm like, yo, I know you're going to do it. Because the way you're speaking about it and your talent already, you're already a talented person. You're already a talented individual. And the way you're speaking it and how confident you are in yourself, I do believe the law of attraction is a real thing. And some people don't. Some people think people are just talking to overcompensate. No, law of attraction is real. The way Ilia speaks is real. And given his God-given talent and his training regimen and how hardworking he is and his work ethic, I think that all collides and collaborates really good with each other. And that's why he gets these victories. He didn't have that against Arman, which is a big leading factor why I was leading Arman a lot more confidently. But now this shift that he's been going through, this shift that's causing him to have the same confidence he has with Arman with other fighters now, it's not just like, oh, and I don't want to hear that excuse. It's just because he hated Arman. That's the only reason he didn't want to fight him. That's not what it is. We know a lot of fighters Ilia hated. This shift is what Ilia needed. This shift is what can get Ilia wins against people like Arman, who are like a different stylistic fight than he's used to. We could be honest, guys. If you look at Ilia's track record, he's great, but he's doing it against primary strikers, and he's better strikers than these great strikers, yes. The thing about Arman Tsarukyan, he's not going in there to strike. Max Holloway had no option but to strike. Volkanovski had no option but to strike. These guys have no option because that's their best weapon. Of course, Charles Oliveira is grappling first, but Charles Oliveira's striking, if you guys know his striking defense, it's not the smartest thing in the world. Like, I know Charles likes running at people full speed and tries to overwhelm them. Like, any person with IQ knew that wasn't going to work against Ilia. Arman's not sloppy like Charles on the feet. He's not someone to run into you and just try to strike you and overwhelm you. He's a lot more tentative. He picks his shots a lot better. He throws his kicks a lot more appropriately. And then he shoots the takedowns, and his takedown entries and completion rates are actually a lot better than Charles Oliveira. As well as the fact when he gets people on the ground, I do think he has better ground and pound. And ground and pound diminishes energy and it lumps up the face. And it's just very brutal. And Ilia, how often has Ilia been cut and stuff? Like, bleeding is different. When you see your own blood and stuff and you're getting punched in and you're getting destroyed like that, that's where things start to shift. So I still think it's a hard fight for Ilia, don't get me wrong. But I will say, the newfound confidence in Ilia Topuria is making me understand how 50-50 this fight really is, guys. And I know the shift's there, and I know the shifts happen. I know I'm not the only one seeing this. Maybe I am, and maybe I'm just pointing this out to you in this video. But I do believe that Ilia Topuria is now ready for this Arman Tsarukyan fight. Let's see how he looks against Justin Gaethje. I think he should get it done against Justin Gaethje. Of course, the leg kicks are going to be a big weapon for Gaethje. Maybe Gaethje makes it longer than we thought. I think there's no way the fight ends in a round, because I think Gaethje's going to run for a bit. Maybe round 2, round 3, but either way, he should be able to sleep a very sloppy Justin Gaethje. After that happens, I think we will get the Arman Tsarukyan fight by the end of the year. But let me know what you guys think about that fight specifically. And let me know what you guys think about the Ilia Topuria mentality switch. Do you think I'm overreading it? Or do you guys think you actually noticed this too, where it seems like he's a lot more confident in his ability where he was last year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's it for me. God bless. 2.